10 snakes you can have as a pet. Scaly, slimy, and slithering. At some point, you surely wanted to have a pet snake. Would you like to know which are the friendliest? Come along and find out for yourself. Number 1. Corn snake. The most common and famous among domestic snakes. Why? Because it has everything to become the perfect pet. It's small, docile, and above all, non-venomous. Moreover, it doesn't bite but kills its prey by constriction. Its size ranging from 18 inches to 1.4 feet at most makes it a small and easy-to-handle snake. It won't eat you, but it will eat many rodents. That's right, you gotta feed it little mice every week. You know, there's no commercial food for snakes. And you must bear in mind that they can live up to 20 years. This reptile needs a well-kept terrarium that provides everything it needs to not be cold, keep its skin from drying, and have tree branches so it can move around well. Number 2. Indian python. Now comes a python. As you can see, this snake has a massive size that can reach 19.8 feet long, which, along with a weight of 209 pounds, makes it as heavy as an adult man. Since it has no venom, this huge, slithering creature strangles its prey until they suffocate and then swallows them. The good thing about this python is that it doesn't eat much and can last weeks or months without eating anything. This may be cheap, but be careful because it can take your breath away. Like many other pet snakes, they eat small rodents, lizards, and even birds, but rodents are their favorites. Too bad for the rats that live near your house because this buddy will eat them all. Remember that the Indian python can live up to 30 years, so it's a long-term commitment. Number 3. Ball python. I'll now talk about an African python. This snake isn't that big since it can grow up to 5.97 feet at most, but on average, its size is 35 inches or just over 3.2 feet. Females in this species are slightly larger than males, but despite this, they only weigh up to 3.3 pounds, making this python a potential pet easy to carry. They live between 20 and 30 years and will completely rely on you the entire time. There are over 60 genetic variations that offer a wide range of very attractive colors and different patterns. The ball python prefers warm weather between 68 to 86 degrees Fahrenheit. To adopt one, you just need a relatively small terrarium that simulates a tropical environment, which stays humid and warm so it faithfully emulates the habitat of this python. It only eats once a week and preferably little mice. On a positive note, they don't eat while shedding, so it could be a good investment for your wallet. Number 4. Scarlet Kingsnake. This snake comes from a family with over 20 recognized species, each with bright, colorful, and ringed scales as if it was a coral snake. However, this one doesn't have any venom, and luckily for you, they're very docile. Their size ranges from 23 to 60 inches, so they need a terrarium large enough to fit in and secure enough not to escape. Keep in mind that these snakes can get through the tiniest places possible. On the bright side, they don't need high humidity levels since their natural habitat isn't humid. It still needs some water to stay fresh and hiding places to cool off. Some light, a thermometer, a mouse per week, and you're ready to go. Obviously, you have to clean its house on a regular basis. The most important thing is to barely touch it since it can get stressed. If this is up your alley, then enjoy this scaly wild friend. Number 5. Boa constrictor. Now comes the boas. This is a solitary and nocturnal South American reptile that spends its days hiding in a tree or some trunk and eating at night. As its name implies, it's a snake that kills by constricting and strangling its victim and then calmly eats it. It likes bats, squirrels, rats, and birds. This is a popular boa in the terrariums of large snake enthusiasts. Its size ranges from 1.6 to 13 feet, which makes it easy to hold. However, sometimes it can escape and cause trouble in unknown habitats, so some countries have environmental issues due to these jailbreaks. This boa can live up to 40 years. It surely is long for a reptile. Imagine taking care of your snake since little, and perhaps it gets to meet your grandchildren. How crazy would that be, right? Number 6. Carpet python. It's time for Australia to show you a pal that could be your pet. Like many non-venomous snakes, the carpet python subdues its prey by suffocation. It can reach a size between 6.5 to 13.12 feet. They're cold-tempered when young, but sharper as adults. So be careful when feeding them, since their feeding response behavior can seem quite aggressive, yet pretty natural for this python. It usually eats frozen or live rats, and although it seems kinda cruel, that's nature. They can live between 15 to 20 years and share the long-term pet factor with their slithering cousins on this list. So now you know, you can have pythons for a while. Number 7. Green Tree Python. This is one of the most beautiful ones. They live high among trees, and you wouldn't even notice them if they were in their habitat or terrarium. Their beauty is unique due to their green color, but they're somewhat aggressive, so you better be careful. The good thing about this slithering buddy is that, like any python, it kills by strangulation, and its hunting method is to patiently wait in tree branches for its prey. It eats lizards, birds, rodents, and some invertebrates. They may look entirely green, but aren't, since they display a yellowish color when born and usually change while growing until they get a green leaf color as adults with white, yellow, black, and even blue spots. A true beauty of nature within your reach. With 6.5 feet in size and around 3.5 pounds in weight, you'll have this little pal for a long time if you want to spend 20 years taking care of this unique greenish reptile. You'd get some great photos for your reptilian Instagram, think about it. Number 8. California Kingsnake. It's a slender, small, and rather stunning California snake. It can vary in color or be albino. This gorgeous snake has no comparison with others. Its small size of between 3.2 to 3.9 feet makes it an ideal candidate if you want a scaly friend without legs. They hibernate once a year and enjoy being active during the day. They have a docile personality, but remember that these friends are wild. You don't want to get bitten by a snake. It may not have venom, but it still hurts. They can eat birds, rodents, lizards, eggs, and even other snakes if they have the chance. The good news is that it only eats one mouse every 15 days, but make sure it's frozen so it's safe and don't witness a murder in a tiny terrarium. Always check they have water, the light they need, and above all, to not get cold since they're pretty sensitive to extreme temperature changes. Number 9. Pacific Gopher Snake. This American constrictor is a rodent, bird, and egg eater. The gopher snake is a solitary creature, always enjoying being in its territory, and it's an excellent climber. It can sometimes be mistaken for its cousin rattlesnakes, which are highly toxic, but fear not, you won't die from its bite. It can reach a maximum size of 9.84 feet at age 3 and can live up to 30 years. Can you imagine having a snake for so long? If you come across one in some big and long North American highway, don't disturb them, since it might bite you and you won't want to know if it was a gopher or a rattlesnake. Despite its size, you better bear that in mind. Careful with that. But if it doesn't stop you, then go ahead, get a gopher as a pet and you won't regret it. Number 10. Milk snake. You may wonder, why milk snake? It's quite simple and interesting. People used to believe these little snakes fed on cow milk. Although that's not anatomically possible, yet the name remained the same. Its length ranges from 13 to 68 inches. It's small and easy to handle, perfect if you have a child who wants to try these kind of pets. It feeds mainly on rodents, birds, and even other snakes. Since it has no venom, it strangles its prey and then swallows it whole. Like most species on this list, it can live up to 20 years hanging around in your terrarium at home. Get ready to stock up on frozen little mice. And remember that they need a warm temperature place and steady humidity so they won't get cold or sick. You're now ready to have a slithering and scaly, long-lasting milk snake. Do you feel like adopting a snake? I might give it some thought. If you want to know more about this world full of life, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe because more videos are on the way. Since I know you're an animal lover, I recommend you these amazing videos.